Alright, hello and welcome everybody to Ceremonial Witchcraft. Once again, I am Corey LeBlanc. I am the neglecting host of this podcast. I haven't been on in a little bit. I put an episode out on, I want to say Saturday or Friday or one of those days. I think it was Friday. And then, but it wasn't really an episode. I didn't put too much new content on there except for some shit I did last weekend. But, a bunch of shit going on around my place, my house, and all this. This has happened to me before, so I kind of recognize what it is. Although this time it's a little bit more intense because it's really affecting, me and my wife, especially my wife. Like I've done a lot of magic to change the tone, energy, and stuff inside my house. When I'm not doing spells, when I wasn't doing any spells, to try to get or do anything, or actively try to reprogram my mind. Let's say in the summertime, all I would do is, transformation sigils to any harmful energies coming towards me or any of my family members, and I would transform it into creative energy for all my family basically to use, kind of thing, and help them change their mindset. And I never specifically said I want them all to have my mindset or my beliefs, but I was specifically write for them to have their own creative ideas and beliefs, something that serves them so they can enjoy their life. Kind of, that kind of vague, but outcome is what I wanted. I don't want anybody to have the same beliefs as me if my beliefs are wrong, let's say. And I don't think my beliefs are wrong. I'm 100% certain about my beliefs, but I don't want to push my beliefs on my wife or anybody else. That being said, my wife has done tremendous. My kids have been doing tremendous, from their attitude to, even my boy who's got ADHD, so-called, is having his best year he's ever had. So, all the things I've done in the past are coming into fruition, better late than never. But, it's the difference between, it's the me doing all the candles and asking for these specific outcomes to happen, plus, me playing the shit in the background and talking about it, and then the people asking me questions, kind of either they're actually curious or they think I'm crazy, and then when I explain it to them, it kind of makes sense. And, all this put together is help them all change their mindset about what they think I'm into and how to think themselves. Now, when push comes to shove and shit gets bad, they resort and go back to their primary belief, that we don't have power and you can't really change it. But when things are going good and they actually get what they desire, and they actually employed the techniques I told them to, whether it's my oldest son or my daughter or my wife, then, they come and they tell me and they're all happy about it. So it's pretty amazing stuff. Now, that being said, what I'm trying to say here is, when I say I know what's going on because I've been through it before, I think it was during the summertime that I had a bit of a dry spell where I couldn't record for about 2 weeks. And, I tell everybody I listen to Birch and I listen to Frederick Xavier. And, Frederick Xavier has episodes where he believed he was under attack. And, after the attack was done, he had a video called Finding Center, in which he said he couldn't teach and he had no business teaching when he was off center, because anything he would say would also be off center. And I kind of said that, and I don't know, an episode or two ago, that, I try not to, I think it was actually in the video of me going over what me and my wife's fight was about and what I need to learn from it. And that was 2 Sundays ago, that fight. Now, we had another huge blowout fight this Saturday over another ridiculous thing. And once again, it's not my wife who's actually doing probably arguably better. And, she's not even going through a transformation process, yet she's transforming. And I'm the one who instigated both these fights, and I'm supposed to be the one going through the transformation process, which I am, which this is part of the transformation process. I'm instigating these fights because, as is one of the things I realized after that fight on Sunday, that, I needed to not just always apologize, but at the same time, I have to let my ego getting in the way on especially Sundays and shit like that. Now, this wasn't a Sunday. It was actually on Saturn Day. And being Saturn's in my marriage house, which people say you shouldn't get married before 30 if Saturn's in your married house, because there's a good chance you're going to divorce. However, mine is retrograde, so that's less likely, but it's still something you should go by. So hearing that, wasn't very happy, because I love my wife and I don't want to divorce. But the last few fights, it's something that hasn't really come up, but in the same sense, obviously I brought it up, I said it, but it was just out of spite to show her that I was angry, kind of thing. But point is, my family is doing the things I hope and wish and want them to do and learn, and everybody is going about their business and everybody's happy. And maybe I'm not happy to a complete extent, because I know I had to return to the workforce and I had to choose it and I had to do it a certain way. And that being said, my job, it flies by and I enjoy it and the bills are paid, so there's no reason for me to be upset. So I don't know if maybe there is a bit of resentment there, or me being upset somehow at my wife for something that's not even her fault. It was my choice. But point is, we keep fighting and there's nothing wrong. So you could assume that it's energy, entity, something in here, and and it doesn't matter whether it was sent from somebody or it's my own thought forms creating it, because once your ego kicks in, whenever you start to instigate a fight, where me and my wife were having this issue, I'm in a bad mood, I woke up crabby, I can't find this, can't find that, something bad happened, blah 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 blah, so I start losing it, she says something wrong to me and I instigate the fight. Well, the minute I instigate that fight, and whether we're talking on the phone, texting, or in person, the thoughts I'm thinking during that process while I'm in that angry, fear, emotion state, every thought that I have while I'm feeling those emotions, I'm creating thought forms. Especially if I've been, for the last 3 years, trying to do this. Like, this has been my goal, is to have connection between my subconscious and my conscious mind, to be able to use emotion plus thought to create manifestation. And it doesn't matter that, even though I know I shouldn't be doing it when I'm in a fear state or with thoughts I don't want, I can't always control it. And this could be the biggest lesson I need to learn. But another smaller and more immediate lesson is the fact that I still have ego there that I haven't conquered. I want to be this wise mage, magician, witch who, can go to work and be happy and do the family thing and be happy and have manifestations and be happy and make everything go smoothly and heal people and all this and that. But if my ego is still on the surface and little things tick me off to the point where I'm ready to explode, my ego completely takes over, then obviously I'm not even close to there yet. Therefore, any candle I ask Mercury or any deity to bring me more wisdom and knowledge and blah, 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 it's all okay, well, let's see if he's ready, and they're not going to keep testing me like this, and I keep fucking failing. Now, I am the one that, eventually realizes it's me, and I apologize, but how many times am I going to keep doing this to my poor wife before she says enough's enough, Corey? You're either unstable, you need help, we need counseling, or you need to be on meds, or we're done, and it's like, I wouldn't even be able to argue with her. Be like, you know what? Absolutely, because, one of those things have to be it, because, going by my behavior, I am. Clearly, something is going on, but it's because I need to learn some kind of lesson. It's because I need to lose the ego. I need to, because it's not like she's deliberately starting the fights with me and then my ego kicks in, and then it's like, okay, well, technically she started it, so yeah, your ego probably should have shut up. But no, it's my ego just kicking in for no reason, and then me deciding to choose it when I should be better than that. I should be more depolarized, and I can go back and say, well, the radio's on at work, so I'm not supposed to be listening to media and shit like this, and that could affect it. And I've been watching more movies with my wife to have that better balance, even though I don't think sitting there behind her on the couch watching a movie, not talking to each other, spending time, but she still has that belief that technically is spending time with each other. And even though I know it's not good for either one of our brains, so all that could have an effect, and of course it could. And I've been actively making myself watch different Christian sects talking about Illuminati and Freemasons and shit like that. And so, all this could have an effect on the mind and, what I'm focusing on, I'm bringing about and all that. But I just wanted to say that, it's pretty crazy how this is happening. But and once again, I want to reiterate what I reiterated or what I was trying to prove in those videos and what was on my most recent episode that I played about the fight anyways, that even though we had this big blowout, my manifestations are still happening, because they are still happening. Even the ones, even after this last fight, I'm still having manifestations happening. Everything I've done from the summer has been coming to fruition. And the best way to know that this is happening is to make sure you keep good notes. And because, if I go back on my book and I see everything I wrote, well, I can know when things are happening. And then I also write down that I'm grateful this happened and, whatever. So this way it kind of keeps the cycle going as well. But anyways, so all that aside, my last episode, because so I'm going to the reason I haven't been on, and the reason my last episode wasn't really an episode, and even the new information on there wasn't really well. One, I thought I had a recording that I recorded that was a lot longer for the first part of my last episode. Now, none of this is probably making sense because I'm kind of not even making sense to myself. But anyways, I spoke about Albert Pike, General Pike, a lot more. And then none of that ended up recording. And I only had 2 4-minute recordings put on there for a total of 8 minutes, when it should have been more like 20 minutes in total. And it wasn't. So I had a bunch of links for Albert Pike's books on there. And, I noticed that none of the content or anything I spoke about the man was even on the episode. So some people might have thought that was weird. And then I put the Manny P. Hall thing talking about Albert Pike, shit like that. So I want to just maybe go over that real quick. And, I don't want to polarize anybody, because I know a lot of people think he's either the founder or the Illuminati Freemason king, which, I can't tell you if he is or isn't, but I know he was a Freemason, that's for sure. But I want to go over that quick, but the point I was just trying to get at prior to this was that I have been off center. I don't know, I haven't been putting my feet on the ground, and I haven't been having the baths I've been having, what I was having prior to this, stuff like that. I haven't been doing as many as my meditations because of work and having to have the family time and all that balance, right? Because it's not even just about trying to achieve balance. I miss my family when I'm not with them. I'm very close to my kids and my wife, and when I don't have that time with them, it makes me upset enough, because technically the fight we had this weekend was about me not seeing her, but a very small, insignificant thing that she said is what led to me picking a fight with her, so I could bring up the fact that I wasn't going to see her on the one day off I had. So anyways, but point is, I've been off center, I've been off balance, and that's why I haven't been able to teach. So I don't know how much teaching I'll do in this episode, but I will be talking about conspiracy, Illuminati, Freemason, Christians, and the whole flipping paradigms and saying things are when there aren't, or demonizing things when they may not be demonized. And I'm not going to say for sure. I'll tell you what I think, but I'm not going to say 100% that Illuminati is evil or not evil. I'm not going to say 100% Freemasons are evil or not evil, or Christians are evil or not evil, or which one of those groups I believe are the elite. Well, I'll tell you which one I believe are the elite that people think is that Illuminati. People think Illuminati is an evil elite group ruling the world, I think. So what I'm gonna punt and tell you is my belief and who I think the elite group is. Is it the Illuminati, as in Freemasons, as in an actual group that was disbanded in, I forget what year it was, but 17, 16, 1800, something like that. Did they come back? Is that the one ruling the world? Is it really the Christians? Is it really? And I'm sure you can probably guess what I'm going to say. And, you're probably right. But point is, it's probably not for the same reasons you're going to say. Or I'll give you some facts that I can actually back up why I say this. But, and I'm not blaming every Christian out there who goes to church on Sunday. I think anybody who goes to church on Sunday, that's great. They're trying to do the spiritual thing. They're doing what they were taught. They're doing what's right. And it actually it's easy for someone to say they're Christian and not go to church. It's harder for someone to say they are Christian and go to church actively every Sunday. That person actually has an amount of discipline in them and enough belief to actually do that. So I'm not saying that that person is wrong or bad or anything like that, because like I said, only when I was a kid was I able to actually go to church, and it was until I got older that I stopped doing that. And parents never forced me or anything like that. So it's easy to say you're a Christian but never go and practice your religion, you know what I mean? And then now I have a religion that suits me and I can practice anytime I want. But anyways, that's what I'm going to talk about. But first, before I get into that, the last episode, what was missed out, what wasn't attached to the introduction, the first introduction, and the newest content that was on my last episode, was that I recently had Manny P. Hall come up next after listening to Alan Watts, because they normally do. They're my two favorite philosophers that I have in YouTube, and they tend to pop up when I watch one or the other. So, but I never, to my recollection, I've never heard this one from Manny P. Hall. And maybe I had, and maybe I turned it off right away because he started talking about Albert Pike, and I knew he was a Freemason, but I thought he was an honorary Freemason and not an actual Freemason. Therefore, maybe I turned it off out of being polarized or not wanting to listen to something that I thought might have been polarized. Either way, I've never listened to that one. And being where I am now, being that I think I'm depolarized, and to a certain extent, for the most part, I am, but I am going through these certain circumstances where when I'm not center, I am very off balance and show some polarity because, I'm doing my best to not be polarized, but whenever I am polarized, sometimes I am very polarized, and that comes back to the whole pendulum thing, right? If you're spending most of your time not being polarized, being in the center, well, then whenever you do become polarized against something, you are going to be on the extreme because you're going from not being polarized or barely polarized at all to completely polarized, which is kind of a tough thing to do. So you kind of have to find another balance. And, this is above my elemental grade right now, I believe, because it's something that I've been actively focusing on and, thinking up ideas and trying to talk about it via an episode, and I'm having a hard time. So that's what tells me that, I might not be ready for that yet. But whether I'm ready for it or not, this is happening and I need to figure out a solution. Therefore, I'm going to keep going until I figure out said solution. And, I'll probably touch on it a bit today, but it's something that definitely needs to be addressed because the pendulum swing happens in everything. And, the best way to not have your pendulum swinging from side to side in anything is to be depolarized. But no one in this realm can be completely depolarized whatsoever. So therefore, if there is something you're polarized for or against to a small degree because you spend the majority of your time being depolarized, does that mean whenever you get polarized against somebody, does that mean you're going to go way to the extreme like I've been doing? Is this the reason that I'm doing that, or is it because of other factors? Is it because I'm not done my transformation? And obviously I can't be. I'm not done the elemental grades, right? You have to go through all the elemental grades, and hopefully by the end you're probably never done your self-transformation. However, going through this course you should be, and then you can maybe do the initiation of hermetics and take any of the other courses, maybe just do the Golden Dawn ones, or it doesn't matter. Point is, something I actively need to look into, and I'm going to be talking about very shortly in an episode. So if that interests anybody, I'll keep you posted on when I may have said episode. But it's something I definitely need to look into because it seems to be happening to me, because I don't care about so many issues that when it is an issue I care about, like not seeing my wife whenever we actually have time to spend with each other, when I'm done all my spiritual stuff and my practice and all that, whenever it's supposed to be our time and I don't get to see her, I'm so polarized because I spend most of my time not being polarized that I just lose it. You know what I mean? So anyways, but that's not what I want to talk about today. Albert Pike, okay? Many people not being polarized that I just lose it. You know what I mean? So anyways, but that's not what I want to talk about today. Albert Pike, okay? Manny P. Hall thing came on the other day while I was listening to Alan Watts. And it was how to do rituals to change your life. I can't remember the exact title, but it was how to do rituals. And I think it had something to do with to make your life better or something like that, or properly or in your life. Something to that effect. Anyways, so I listened to it, and the first thing he started talking about was a man named General Pike. And I'm like, okay, well, is this the same General Pike as in Albert Pike, as in the guy who's blamed for the Illuminati and, wars and so many other bad things in the world, being a Satanist and all this shit? Sorry. And sure enough, it was. That is exactly who he was talking about. Sorry, my lighter's not working. And then when he started going through his books and his book titles and the content in these books and a very small, brief description, introduction, whatever you want to call it, Manny P. Hall was going through of Albert Pike's books. Things such as only 100 were made and given out through the Scottish Freemason rite back then, and then it being suppressed by, once it could have been distributed past, the first 100 people, it actually got suppressed in all this. And when he started talking about actually what the content was about, and it was about how, occult knowledge is suppressed, how, there's an active debunking and making satanic what they do, and people that study similar things as them, you know what I mean? There's an active. You got to think, because back then, whenever let's say the Freemasons back then weren't, or the Illuminati or any secret society basically back then was able to practice a religion with some kind of freedom. And then, but they started gaining a following and people didn't like it and whatever the case was, right? So then people started coming against them and giving them a hard time. So that's kind of what some of Albert Pike's books are actually about, is how, him getting heat, or how the system is set up for people to fail, and how people can actually use this to their benefit, spiritual knowledge and shit like that. Because like I said, my last episode, I put 15 of his books on there, and they go from anywhere from deities to magical words to the Constitution in the United States to all these different, about the 3 world wars. I mean, it's not just all about magic or spirituality or Satan. Even he doesn't talk about Satan once. He actually believes in God, or according to his books, he does. So I don't want to say any broad statements, so anybody thinks I believe in the Illuminati or Freemasons or anything like that. I don't believe in any of them. Okay, I'm not for Freemasons. I'm not for Illuminati. I'm not for Christianity. I am a witch and ceremonial magician. That is what I do. But I am seeing the same trends that I see with witchcraft being demonized and ceremonial magic being demonized, and anything using, a different spiritual belief than, Jesus, or, the ones that are accepted, basically. I see the same thing happening with something that has been used to scare people, away from, how do I word that? Because the Illuminati, Freemasons are being portrayed as devil worshippers and stuff like that in our society a lot, and then if you look into Freemasons, you can kind of see that, okay, Freemasons, they have their orders and stuff like that, and maybe some of them did go to that side, but for the most part, because there's Freemasons in your town, you can go sign up if you meet the criteria, which, I have a criminal record, so I wouldn't meet the criteria, but you have to believe in God to even sign up. So, and then I know people twist that and say, okay, well, that's how they get you in, but then you start worshiping a different God, and it's actually the devil, and you're trying to get the devil to come up and this and that, and believe what you want to believe. I'm not here to tell you that is or isn't true, because how the fuck would I know? But what I'm saying is I'm seeing the same trends as, witchcraft being demonized, and that's what I'm seeing happening to Freemason. And I'm also going to make the case that the same thing happened to the Illuminati, possibly as well. But that there's no way to know either. So I may not even touch that, actually, because that's way too polarizing, and I don't want people to think that I want to be Illuminati or anything like that. But I just want to throw the idea out there that it's very possible that Illuminati becoming the enlightened ones, okay, them being an order that Freemasons were part of potentially. There were Freemasons within the Illuminati and, Skull and Bone Society and all these societies and all this shit, right? They have these strict rules that they can't tell you what they talk about, and that's to protect them from people like Christians who anybody who has any secrets, like, well, why is your spirituality secret? What are you hiding? What are you hiding? And it's because they want to know, because if you're not doing what they're doing, they're going to say you're worshiping the devil, and then they're going to hang you or burn you or whatever the case may be, right? So I'm not saying that's why the Skull and Bones. I'm not saying George W. Bush is a good fucking guy, because I don't think he is, or anything like that. I'm just saying, to me, it would make sense that if you do these things that, that once got people killed, that you would want to keep them secret just because, you're a high-ranking officer, you are a president, or somebody who could be, potential. And I'm not for politics or presidents or anything like that. I'm just trying to be as depolarized as possible, since I've been so polarized the last 2 weekends. But I'm just saying I could see the necessity for being secret and silent, because it's been part of my practice to be quiet, because I don't want people judging me and their minds getting involved. And that's not even for the same reasons, but it was a necessity to be quiet for the longest time, until I just stopped caring, and then I blurted it out. But I could still now, if I never would have said anything, my life could still be probably a lot easier. But I'm glad I did what I did, because, like I've said, I've had some pretty good outcomes. But I could have probably arguably got those outcomes anyways, doing what I did, without all the bullshit in between. But anyways, all that being said, Albert Pike, his books aren't about Satanism, and they're not about all this other crap. They're actually about how to reach enlightenment. Some of them are about the Constitution. Some of them are about how conspiracies and the church and this and that are opposite of what you think, and how there's been an attempt. And, I haven't read all of them, but I read the first 5, and I've got to say, they're pretty profound stuff, and none of it actually has anything to do. I mean, he'll talk about the devil, and that's the one thing, there's a polarity battle in there, whereas they believe in God and the devil, and they'll talk about the architect of the universe, rather than saying God all the time, but not always. Sometimes he just straight up says God, but he'll talk about how Lucifer or Satan, the beliefs of Satan, or Satanist, or anybody who believes in Lucifer's whatever, is the opposite of what a Scottish Freemason should be doing, and stuff like that. So to me, and once again, these books, these could have been changed. These could not be the originals. So for me to say that this is Albert Pike 100% actual fucking writings, and that he wasn't a satanic worshipping Illuminati scumbag, I can't tell you that. But I do believe I believe that, there's a good chance that he isn't what everybody thinks he is, and that, for the most part, that these are part of his work, his copies, obviously translated, because like the Bible's supposed to be from God, but yeah, that's been fucking changed so many times, and people believe in it. So, obviously, what are the odds this didn't happen to Pike's books? Well, who knows? But I'm just saying, I really see the same thing, the demonizing of something, because it could help mankind. And what's the best way to keep people away from something that could help them so they don't need help? Well, you demonize it, right? You turn Freemasons into the fucking devil worshippers. You turn Illuminati into the guys who took down the towers and kill everybody because they want to, because it's fun, because they have to, because they want the New World Order and they want a depopularization agenda. And you try to make the Christians the good guys, and not only that, is you get regular day-to-day Christians that, aren't public figures and anything like that, going out and regurgitating this information that isn't accurate, that they've done study for, and they found information out there, because I found the same information, but if you look a little deeper, you find different information. And when you have two conflicting informations, what are you supposed to do? You either got to say both of them or neither of them, not just pick the one you agree with and put it out there. That isn't good. That's wrong. That's inaccurate. You should give both or none at all. And to me, all these people think they're just helping, and they think, and that's another thing I don't get, is people that think they're saved by Christ, and, it doesn't matter if they're saved by Jesus. Well, why are they so worried about the fucking devil coming back then? If the Scottish Freemasons and Illuminati are trying to bring the devil back, and the devil comes back, what the fuck are they worried about? They're fucking saved, right? I'm not fucking even worried about the devil coming back. And I'm a witch, and I'm a fucking ceremonial magician. And I know the devil can't come back, because the devil's not a real fucking dude. It's something made up from a fucking book. But point is, all these regular people out there, pastors preach priests, Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses, all these different sects. These can be good people. I'm not knocking any of these people. They're just people working jobs, doing their thing. And then, they're coming out here spitting information that, they only take the stuff that resonates with them. Although, I've seen a couple things from people that were quote unquote Christians, but we're against the Pope and against politics, and saying that the media wasn't real media and shit like that. I'm like, okay, well, this is interesting. But then going and saying a bunch of other stuff about magic, occult in Egypt that's just inaccurate, saying Osiris is anyways, maybe I'll play it after. But basically just some of the things he said I agreed with, and some of the things he said I didn't agree with. And well, how is that whenever we have two different fucking belief systems? And it's because some of his information was actually accurate and some of it wasn't. And that's the one thing I give him credit for. He went a little bit far enough, and he would actually say, I can't tell you this because I don't know, but what I do know is this. And then, every once in a while he'd get into his own self-limiting beliefs, and I was like, okay, come on, bud. You almost had me okay with you, even though you're knocking some of the shit not worship, but some of the shit I believe in, and, I honor and I respect, but and then you go and say something stupid like that. But I still watch the thing from front to back just to see what, these people think. And that's the thing. Like, there's even these new groups coming out that I don't know what they are. They believe in Jesus. They believe that Jesus and God are going to whoop Satan's ass when he comes. But they also believe that Freemasons and Illuminati are trying to bring Satan about. And everybody in Hollywood and the Pope and these heads of the religion, New World Order, politicians, everybody, they're all part of those groups. Every Skull and Bones and, a celebrity, artist, whatever, even fucking sports athletes are technically all either Illuminati or Freemasons. So they're all trying to bring the devil around, whether they know it or they don't know it. If they think the high ones know they're bringing the devil, and that's what they want to do. And they think the lower ones that haven't had all the degrees when it comes to Masons anyways, I think they think all the Illuminati know they're bringing the devil, obviously, because every star is an Illuminati person, and they all sold their soul to the devil. But when it comes to Freemasons, whenever they're a lower and they haven't been, because, what stage of the Freemasons, like what's it called, your honorary degree, your degree. So, your first to 20 degree, maybe you still believe in God, and the God you're calling is actually, God. But really, the high ones from 20 to 30, no, you're calling Satan, kind of thing. That's the vibe. Again, I'm not going to say for sure, but you have all these different people, have all these different beliefs, all from the just. And that's the thing, like this guy was saying he doesn't believe in the news, but yet he's believing the alternate news, and there are some good alternative news sites out there, but there are some bullshit ones, and a lot of his information came from some bullshit ones, and I know it because I looked into them, and they've been found guilty of fucking being a bullshit site and just putting out propaganda, and they're not even allowed anymore. And I mean, yeah, okay, this was 2 years old, so maybe that didn't happen at this time, like that site didn't go down, so I'll give the guy that. But that's the thing is still on the internet. He still has his these people still have this information out there, and their information is based off of information that has been found to be incorrect, and it stays out there, right? And it's been treated as sources, and even if it's not treated as a legitimate source, people still see it and then tell people it, and then people start, it's just crazy how it snowballs. But that's all I wanted to really point out, was the fact that I don't think, and more than I don't think, I kind of have the sense, the feeling, and this is why this is coming out, because I kept getting, hey, Corey, you got to talk about this. Hey, Corey, you got to talk about this. You got to say something. Grab your headset. Start recording. That feeling telling you to record. And I'm like, no, I got to get some sleep. I got to work nights tonight. And then I got to do all this bullshit in between. Before the wife comes home and after the wife comes home, and then I only got a few more hours before work to sleep again, so you should go to sleep. But instead of sleeping, I'm here recording, and that tells me that there's something to this. Either I have to get it off my chest, I have to just get it out to work it out, or it's something that someone needs to hear or people need to hear. But it's Albert Pike, going by his books, are he is he is definitely not the person that people on the internet are making him out to be. And I could say that with a lot of certainty because, I mean, I can't say with absolute certainty, like I said, because I have no way of knowing if these books are the right ones or the wrong ones. But Mandy P. Hall, I trust him, even though he's biased because he's an honorary fucking whatever, Scottish or Freemason. Even if, whether he is a Freemason or not, like, I don't know, but obviously that would make him biased, right, to that. It's like asking a Christian advice, or asking a Christian about the devil. So if you ask, Manny P. Hall about Freemasons, he's going to be pro, and then whoever's against the Freemasons, he's going to be against, right? So that's what I mean by he'd be biased. But, I searched the books, and I found the books, the titles, and it all matched with what he said. And, there's a lot of information, despite his books and audiobooks being on YouTube, and you can listen to them, and they're the same as the PDFs that I got. Despite that, you still have people out there just saying what Albert Pike is and isn't, and he isn't a good guy. He is a satanic devil worshiper. And then I think in 2017, I don't know if they took it down or not. I haven't even watched the videos, but there's a bunch of videos about his statue in DC and people protesting and saying they should take it down, tear it down. They need to get rid of it. And it's just like, why, just crazy, and that's what I mean. Like, these people, like I said, I didn't watch the documentary or the video about them wanting to take down his statue, but I can almost assume with pretty good certainty that out of that pack of people that wanted to tear that statue down, there's probably only a few of them that actually did research on Pike, and, it's probably biased research, but they did research, and they found, some of the stuff that I found in the past that led me to believe that, yeah, he was Illuminati, he was a Freemason, and at that time I thought the Freemasons were bad and all that too. But now I'm able to actually go look into it and find other information. Not necessarily that the Freemasons are good or bad, but that Freemason... I found Freemason books. I tell you about different things, and there's books about Freemasonry that'll tell you that it's all devils, this and devil that. But that group of people there protesting it is probably one person or two people. If let's say there's 10, well, 1 or 2 out of that 10 people actually did research, and the rest just heard what those 2 people said, and they said, "Oh yeah, that's terrible. We gotta fucking get this fucking statue out of here." I just went along with it, and that's kind of what I mean by how if people look up info, and there's 2 sides to that info. There's a for and against. There's a positive and a negative. Or, there's your opinion and the opposite opinion of your opinion out there about that. And just as many. And then, we won't even say there's legitimate sources saying that your opposite opinion is actually right and your opinion is wrong. Won't even go that far. But that certainly is the case for a lot of these things. But let's say that's not even there. It's just you got an equal amount of for and an equal amount of against. Well, you should put both those out there if you're going to report on it. Otherwise, you shouldn't report anything. But this is what happens. People report it, and then it turns out to be fake, and someone will go out there and prove that it isn't real. But it won't matter because, you can leave your shit online, and, only the stuff that people don't want out there gets suppressed, but stuff like that will stay out there forever. But anyways, so the next thing I want to talk about is we've got footage, we've got pictures of people like, celebrities throwing up what they think is 666, right? The circle with the 3 fingers, and then, or they cover one eye, and that's the Illuminati symbol. And then you have the Pope putting up the devil horns, or doing those the sign, the hands and all that. And once again, I can't tell you if that shit's real or fake. I can't tell you if the Pope actually stood there for a fucking photo shoot and threw up the devil horns, and so did Hillary, and so did Obama, and so did Bush. I can't tell you that they all did that. When, the celebrities, doing the Rock, doing the fucking, doing the one eye with the rock, whatever, the Rockefeller thing, that's what they say is throw your rocks up, because it's supposed to be like a diamond, right? The Rockefeller, or a rock of coke if you're Jay-Z or whatever, because he used to sell coke, and talking about rock and shit like that. That's what rock is, it's crack. But anyways, they're more likely to do things like that, just to cause publicity and all that, and, maybe even politicians. But the Pope was supposed to be, I don't know, but maybe it is all just a game, or maybe that's to help people get enlightened, because these symbols have meaning. And I've said it before that fear-based media is your way into the spiritual game. If you don't get stuck on it, if you don't get stuck on that fucking low chakra, your root chakra, okay, the way the energy comes in your body, okay, if you don't get stuck on the fear-based media, then you're going to move up and you're going to open up your centers and all that, and then you're going to get into self-transformation, you're going to get into magic, and you're going to realize things, and this is how we change the world. So are these people, especially like the Pope, doing things like this to get people to wake the fuck up? Because, there's a lot of singers out there that sing about shit, about manifesting your life, about using magic, about, Katy Perry, fucking Taylor Swift. These are pop stars. But they have songs specifically saying this shit. And then you have 90s, alternative bands. You have the old punk bands talking about, the government being this and that and the other thing. And all the rock bands talking about, selling their soul to Satan and all this. And, that's all fine and dandy. But, you got all kinds of info there, whether it's telling you that magic's real or that the devil's God's real. Who knows? Point is, there's a lot of people that do say that this shit's real, and they subtly tell you how to go about magic. I can point you, and I can make I should one of these days, but I can make an episode with just pop songs, even modern day pop songs. But I could do it with any genre of music, I'm pretty sure, except maybe country, because I don't listen to it, but I know it's there as well. You would just have to look for it. But because I don't listen to it actively, I wouldn't know what songs to think about first and have a set playlist at the top of my head. But I can do it in any genre that I listen to right now and make a whole episode about magic, initiation, hypnosis, using your subconscious mind to create your reality, because that's all this shit is. That's all this is how to do this properly, is that, and, spirits and all that. Yeah, that shit's all real, and you can use it, and you can call on demonic forces to get manifestations and get wisdom and knowledge. But as far as, people like Frater and Phil taught me, and some of the books, and people like Carol Runyons have said, it's more trouble than it's worth. You can do it. It's better if you think the demons are causing shit, to get them to stop the shit they caused. But you can also call on the archangels to do that as well. So, it's not something I actively do often, because when I know it's simply just about, changing your subconscious mind, well, then, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to master. And then after that, it's just, well, what do I really want? So once you realize you know how to do the magic is putting something in your subconscious mind. Once you figure out how to do that, and you can do it, and you can do it often, and you're doing it over and over again, well, then the game now becomes, okay, well, now I know how to do the magic, but what magic do I need to do? Do I need to keep fixing my life? Do I need to keep making money come? Do I need to just keep buying material things? Or do I need to start working on the world, or helping people? Or why do you think I do this podcast? Like, I can bang out magic all day, and I can keep my family safe and all this. It doesn't matter. But I got a job, and I'm still on a podcast talking to everybody about it, because for one, I like doing this, but it's because there's something else that I feel I need to do. I think I need to help people in all this. But, that's kind of the point, is once you realize how to do the magic and you can do the magic, it's okay. Well, then what magic do I need to do? What's my calling? What is it that I have to do? Do I have to do something bigger? Or am I supposed to do something to help people wake up? Or am I supposed to go against the people that are against me? Because that might be a good path to go. I might be someone that needs to be out here debunking all these motherfuckers that say Freemasons are bad, and the Christians saying that, this and this is going to happen, and I come out here with a bunch of facts saying, no, that ain't going to happen. I could do that this way, give someone else another polarity scheme, and it might help people out of the fear-based media. That might be a good fucking thing, because if less people get stuck in fear-based media, only get their root chakra open, because that bitch is going to close too if that's all they do. If they just crawl back to their Christian and then they just stop watching it because they're scared. Well, I don't know for sure, but my logic is telling me that, yeah, you're not going to keep your fucking root chakra open if you don't go any further. You don't continually try to do anything. But anyways, all that was just to say that I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, but I could take a bunch of songs and I could tell you like initiation and which ones are about hypnosis and the subconscious mind. I could teach within these songs. I could use what I know and with the words they're saying and tell you that this is what they're talking about. This is what they're talking about, and it would make sense. Is that the only meaning? Of course not. Of course not. You ask Nirvana, what does he mean by, or Kurt Cobain's dead now, but if you'd ask him about his lyrics, he'd just say, I just wrote shit down and made them rhyme, man, that was it. But he has specific lyrics like, I light candles in a daze because I found God, I light candles in a daze, trance because I found God. Come on. He was talking about doing, the great work, basically. But and he always did when he did his concerts, he always lit candles on the stage. Is that because he wanted the watchers there because he was trying to manifest shit at the same time? Is that maybe why he got killed or suicided or whatever you want to call it? But point is that all these stars are telling us something within their song, and then they go and they do a symbol like that and get people talking about it, because for every Christian out there saying, oh, did you see the new Katy Perry video? Oh, she's definitely an occult Satan worshiper, Illuminati person. You know what I mean? But yeah, okay, there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to see that and going to think she is that. But then there's going to be her fans that aren't even going to watch those videos, even whenever they may even watch it and laugh at it. What an idiot. But then there's going to be people like me and others who've done the great work that are going to hear their song, see them doing those symbols, and know exactly why they're doing them. And it's to help wake people up. And so people like the people that have realized, holy fuck, Katie's a fucking, she does witchcraft and ceremonial magic. She probably did that to get where she was or to maintain her stardom, and that's why she's got songs talking about DNA and aliens and oh, you want to play with magic, and she talks about being Cleopatra or Aphrodite and all these other people, and like fucking that's why they do it, to help wake people up. And you can say, okay, well, that's a stretch, maybe it is, but occult only fucking means hidden. They are doing occult symbolism. They are doing hidden symbolism. People assume that the symbolism, the occult symbolism they're doing, is satanic symbolism. And besides the devil horns, and the only reason I would say that might be one is because it's called the devil horns, but before that was devil horns, that was something else. And whenever you do that, whenever you're doing a type of yoga or sitting down doing a meditation, it's a different, it's a hand gesture that brings on power. And it was that way before, or brings on different circulation and for the prana or the airflow to go through your body better and blah, 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 blah. But it was that way before it was ever the metal symbol or the fucking devil horns. That was only in our fucking century probably. That became that. Maybe even in the 1800s, but I wouldn't say any fucking further than that, because they didn't have the media like they have, and they've only had the TV and fucking media and shit, and then not 1900, like the year 1900, but in the 1900s to now, basically, because the TV was 1930, 1940, 1920, I don't know. But anyways, whenever it was invented, maybe it was in the 1800s, I don't know. Point is that the media and the propaganda and all the bullshit hasn't been until this fucking, or last century, the 1900 century, and it's still going strong in the first fucking almost 20 years of the 2000 century. But there hasn't been a need to tell everybody that means the devil horns, because anybody who used that would use it, and anybody else, whatever. It's like the middle finger, right? But whenever you just put your thumb to your middle finger, there's power there as well. But anyways, point is that anybody who thinks that these stars are throwing up those symbols because they're in some specific group and they're part of some elite or whatever, well, yeah, okay, you're right. They're part of the people that know the secret, the fucking secret to life. And they're throwing up these symbols because in a photo, they can't tell you how to do magic. And in an interview, they can't tell you to do magic. This is what I did to do this. They can't even tell you in a documentary or anything like that because they are told to not tell anybody, or else they're going to be taken away. I don't know if that's for sure or not, but you don't see anybody actively going out there and saying that. Now you do on YouTube because it's become the popular thing to do, or whatever. People are going out there and teaching the way, and then you got the active debunkers debunking them as well. So it is what it is. But someone who's got fame and fortune and money and all that isn't going to come out on TV and tell you. But what they can do is give your mind a symbol that it knows that it has this instinctive fucking feeling that when it sees that 666 symbol, okay, unless you're really, because even when I was watching the Illuminati shit and I was believing in it and I saw all the stars doing that, I had a hard time. Certain stars, yeah, okay, I could believe that, okay, yeah, devil worshiper. But then there was all these other stars. It's like, really? They're throwing up the 666? They're a devil Satan worshiper? Come on now. Are you fucking kidding me? Their shit couldn't get any more fucking PG-13, and they're apparently part of this fucking evil group. And then you'll have the people, and then you have all the shit out there saying, well, yeah, they all have to be part of this group. It's part of the fame. They get involved, they just sign a contract, and it doesn't matter. I mean, Panic at the Disco, the Sorry Ma, Hey Ma, Look I Made It video. It paints a pretty good picture there, bud. And, you know, the ending being, you know, he does the whole thing with a puppet. And then in the mirror, it's actually him, which is beautiful, like higher self or whatever, his reflection. Like, what the fuck you doing? Talk sense in the ear, because his body really only is the puppet, right? And, you know, but anyways, which is pretty clever. But then at the end, the guy just shoots the fucking puppet down, and it's just a pile of puppets, right? That's all the stars are, just a bunch of fucking actors, just a bunch of puppets. And, but, you know, right there, he's telling people a big, and you could say, oh, that's a cult, and he's, you know, he signed a deal with the devil, and they exploited his fucking talent, and he can't go out and tell you anything because of that, and that's why they're told to throw up these symbols. No, I mean, who knows why? What I just told you why they're throwing up those occult symbols, I have no idea if that's true or false. If they're told to do that or not. If they say, hey, do something, not scandalous, well, I guess scandalous, but controversial. Do something controversial, and then they go and do that. But maybe it's part of their record deal. Maybe it's part of their label. Maybe it's you know, because to say the fucking, because that zero with the three things up, you know, when I was a kid, it didn't mean 666. That recently got turned into that, but that was perfect or excellent or something like that in French, because that's like an E. But you know, just go like that to somebody with your thumb and your finger, making a circle, and then your other three fingers up like that. You know, now that it becomes 3 6s, right? The one circle, but then the three things is 3 6s. But it never was that. That was perfect. Mwah! You know, like a pinch. Ooh, you know, like. And they just change it into that. And that's only been recently as well. So it could be almost anything. But I'm telling you right now, there's a better chance that what I'm saying is accurate than what any fucking Christian and fucking other person's saying. Because Satanism only exists where Christianity exists. I'm telling you right now. You can't have satanic worshipers without Christian people or anybody who believes in God. You have to have both to have one or the other. And, you know, I believe in an all spirit, and I believe in other energies, but I don't believe in this demonic force. I believe that there are demons and shit we could call on, but that's within our body. And, you know, we have that capability, that we are the plus and the minus, and that the energy flow, the architect of the universe isn't just some being up there. He is within us. He's omnipresent everywhere. He's part of the structures and everybody around us. He's the satanic worshiper, and he's the fucking fundamental Christian fucking person who's pointing the finger at everybody and blaming the Satanists and, you know, thinking he's perfect. Well, that's also God right fucking there. They're all serving a point. Those Satanists and those Christians have to polarize everybody in the middle, so everybody in the middle stops believing in both those fucks. Sorry, God, I didn't mean to call you a fuck. But so we stop believing in both those sides, and then we figure out our own way, because we can do anything as long as we know we put something in the subconscious mind, and then it's going to play out. We just have to know how to do it correctly, the means to do it right, and then after that, you have to figure out what you want to put in there.
because you can put money in there all day long, every day, all day, and you'll get it. But eventually it won't satisfy you, and you're just going to kill yourself because you're going to develop a fucking gambling habit because you think it's okay to have money and money and money. But what happens whenever you think you can make the money happen, and then you end up owing the money first, like debt, and then you're desperate for your magic, and your magic doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Point is that even if you can bang out a fucking a spell every day, or put fucking something in your subconscious every day and money, and know you're going to eventually get it, you will fuck yourself up if you don't eventually go for something that will create that money for you instead of just asking for the money. You need something that will continue to perpetuate and continue to bring you that money, to bring you those funds. So, but that's besides the point. The Albert Pike, the Illuminati, and the Christians, okay? All of them are part of this program to get us to wake the fuck up. This is what I've believed for the last few years, off and on, and I've tried to stay away from the Illuminati stuff and Christian polarity stuff and Freemason stuff on purpose, but then this got shot at me and I couldn't ignore it anymore, because the more I tried not to listen to it and not put an Albert Pike into my laptop, the more it drove me crazy. And I had to, and then I got the books and I read the books and I was like, man, is nothing what they say, like, okay, I believe witchcraft was bad for a little bit. Come to find out, my grandma was a witch and shit like that. But, the witchcraft, the Bible was different than what my grandma was. But no, witchcraft is just, witchcraft can be so many different things. So I'm not going to give it some broad statement, band-aid fucking title, subject, or anything like that. But point is, I used to think that was bad, and I used to think black magic was bad, and only do white magic and all that, and then possibly thought the moon was bad, and Satan was bad, and Saturn was bad, and then, none of these things exist to me anymore. So it only makes sense that I keep going down the line, and now Freemasons and Illuminati are next. That they're not necessarily bad. And then fundamentally, the Christians that are oppressing everybody, and the Pope being this evil fuck that I kind of think, okay? Because when this started, that was what I was going to tell you. I was going to say, what? If anybody is this evil elite Illuminati, it would actually be the Pope, the Christians, the people that don't want you to fucking change, the people that don't want you, because the Illuminati are trying to get you to change. And that's why they got disbanded. That's why they were fucking got rid of, and that's why they were demonized, and that's why they were made this evil group. And that evil group still exists, but it's now actually the Christians who don't want anybody doing magic or witchcraft, or the magic or the witchcraft that the Freemason people do, or whatever the case is, or the Rosicrucian people, or any of these groups. Okay, they don't want anybody doing this stuff, so they would be them. That's what I was going to start with. But eventually I'm probably going to get to the Pope and realize that motherfucker is doing the same thing. He's part of the polarity scheme to get everybody to realize that there is no good or bad, that Satan doesn't exist and neither does God. So both these groups are just there to get us to realize that we are all we need to make our life good. We don't need to go to fucking the Pope and his Christian group, and we don't need to go to Satanist groups, and we don't need to do any of this crap. We can go in our basement and do our own thing. You don't even need to buy incense or candles or a fucking recorder or have a phone or even do a sigil. You can find your own way to put this in your mind. You can just say the same shit over and over again. You can visualize shit at night. You can just write a story down on a piece of paper and have this happen for you. And then, but after so many years of doing the same shit, people get locked in the ways, and then these groups are made, and, the Christians believe in what they're doing, the Satanists believe in what they're doing, because, Lucifer is the bringer of light. He's not a fucking devil. He's not somebody who kills people. He's bringing light. What's light? Light is knowledge. What do Christians want? They want light, right? God, Jesus was light. So to them, Lucifer, the same fucking thing, blah, 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 blah. All I'm trying to say is that I don't think this whole polarity thing, it's there is no polarity. I mean, there's polarity in the sense that we can, like I'm proof of that. I was able to be depolarized for almost everything, but yet last weekend, I lose my shit and my whole day is messed up. I spend most of my days being depolarized and not really caring. The only thing I want to do is keep learning, play with my family, have fun. But even then, you know, it's like, okay, well, I can go to McDonald's, but spending money, okay, well, yeah, it's just money, so we can go spend it, but really, what's the point, you know, blah, 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 blah. But I still have fun spending time with my family. And then it's like, sorry, I lost my train of thought where I was going with that. Oh yeah, no, I spend most of my time depolarized, or so I think, you know, not really caring about much. The only time I get a little bit polarized is when I'm late for work or got to go to work and haven't had enough sleep. But even that I found a solution for. I meditate before, and, you know, I'm getting pretty used to it, and my job's pretty decent, and they're okay with, if you're not feeling good or tired, taking an extra break or going to have a coffee while you're technically supposed to be on the floor and this and that and the other thing. So, I mean, I didn't really have too many players, but then these weekends happened, and I'm so angry and losing my shit. Now, the Saturday one was a lot shorter. Sunday was almost the whole Sunday. I had to go to sleep, blah, 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 blah. Whereas Saturday, it was only from, I want to say from about 8:30 to 2 o'clock is how long we fought. But I think we made up around 1:30 before she was done work. Yeah, but 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock, we made up via text, and when she came home, we were fine. So it wasn't the whole day. Well, but the other one, we were fine before, and then it wasn't until later on that day that happened. So probably around the same time, actually. But anyways, point is, you know, is this part of the game? You know, like, I have these extremes, and, you know, is it... Because on the one hand, I know time is the most valuable thing and that it could all be over tomorrow. But then on the second hand, I know my mind can create whatever I want. Therefore, the time is the one thing you can't get, but you can do things to, you know, get a little bit more time. Like the lesser banishing of the hexagram. I talked about how it reduces Saturn's effect on you, which reduces all the planetary energies on you, which, because Saturn is Father Time, well, it gives you more time, kind of thing. It allows you to have longer here. But, you know, it doesn't matter if Saturn doesn't like you, it'll make you get hit by a bus. So, but that's the point. Why do I get so upset when I don't get to see my kids or my wife, or, you know, I feel like I didn't get to see them enough that day? I'm going to get more time here. But, you know, it doesn't matter if Saturn doesn't like you, it'll make you get hit by a bus. So, but that's the point. Why do I get so upset when I don't get to see my kids or my wife, or, you know, I feel like I didn't get to see them enough that day? I'm going to get more time. Yes, but first of all, well, when it comes to my little daughter, she's only going to be these small ages one time. But, you know, once again, it's like, well, it doesn't matter because you can still enjoy her as she gets older. Like, you know, but point is, like, I'm caught between this own polarity game, whereas I know that I can have and do whatever I want, but I'm not using my mind that way. I'm letting myself be just driven by circumstance. And maybe it's because I'm really mad at myself. It's like, well, why aren't you just doing a spell so that, you know, your wife can't get overtime, and so you can spend time with her, or so she doesn't have to go spend her time with her mom on the weekend, and she'll stay home with you or whatever. And to me, it's just, that seems silly. I want my wife to be able to do those things, and that's not really the point. And it can't be the real reason why I'm getting mad at her, and that's something I have to look into a bit myself later to see what's really going on there. But, you know, I have this own polarity scheme in my head, and really, there is no polarity. Everything are the same, you know. There is polarity. There's no opposites. Opposites are the same, just different degrees, right? The fact that I can create stuff with my mind, but I'm running out of time, but time is a structure of the mind, is all the same shit. So technically, which one is it? Why am I being polarized whenever I feel like I don't have enough time with my kids or my wife? And why is that what sets me off? Being mad at the actual person that it's like, fuck, I can't have time with you, so I'm going to fight with you and waste that time. You know what I mean? It makes absolutely no fucking sense. And so does all of this other shit. This Illuminati, Freemason crap, and the crap the Christians are putting out. None of it makes any fucking sense. Anybody with a rational mind would know, and, you know, even if you don't have a rational mind, there's no, you know, to just assume that these people are Satan worshippers because the Pope said so. You know, I mean, the Pope wants you to be part of his religion. He's the only religion, but it's a fucking goddamn business. And what do all businesses want? McDonald's doesn't want you eating at Burger King because he wants your business. Well, the Pope is doing the same fucking thing. He doesn't want you at these other places because he's okay with you going. He'd rather you be a Jew than go to Freemasonry, but he doesn't want you to be a Jew either. He's going to say all these religions are wrong and his are right. Basically, it's a fucking goddamn business. You know what I mean? They're all the same. None of them are, you know what I mean? Because if the Freemasons, you know, if I don't know, they seem, and it depends who you listen to, and who knows, there could be fakes and reals out there. I've listened to some Freemasons and they seem like pretty good guys, but then I listened to some other ones that were being assholes, and you know, those are probably the fake ones trying to make all Freemasons look bad because their shit got deleted. So who knows? But you know, they seem like they found something that works for them and they're doing it, and let them be. You know, who fucking cares what other people do? Why is it that the Christian people have to worry about what all these other sects are doing? And why is it that if their religion is the right one and they're saved and they have the ultimate retirement plan and they're going to heaven, then why do they care if everybody else is going to hell? Because like Alan Watts said, the only way for somebody to be saved is for someone else to be damned. Just like I said, the only way for them to be Satanists is for them to have fucking people that believe in God and Jesus. You can't have one without the other. You can't say, well, you're going to Hades, but I'm going to heaven. You know, there is no Hades in heaven. There's Hades and fucking Mount Olympus, you know, where Zeus is and shit like that, you know, and the underworld and all that, you know. Well, Hades is the guy who rules the underworld, and, you know, but that would be heaven and hell, just in a different way of saying it. But point is that, you know, that's the Christian way of showing the Greek mythology. Is all they did there, and because that's not the way it actually is at all. And you know, if that's up to your interpretation of the underworld, and you know, it's a different realm. It's not necessarily down there, but anyways, it doesn't matter. It all depends on what you believe, and that's kind of the point I'm trying to say. This little point I'm trying to make right now is that. Why do these Christian people feel the need to come out here and tell everybody how wrong they are? And not only that, go around educating more people that these people that are wrong are also trying to bring about the devil. Like, do they want these people to be killed or put in prison because they're trying to bring this devil force out? And you know, like what can they do about it? They want to go out there and tell the Freemasons that, hey, what you're doing is worshiping the devil and it's bad. And the Freemasons are going to be like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. Okay, I'm going to quit. Like, are you fucking kidding me? How does a Christian know what a Freemason's doing better than a Freemason? And for the people that aren't Freemasons, what are they going to do? Is it to stop them from becoming Freemasons? Because I'm telling you right now, if someone wants to become a Freemason, they're going to become a Freemason. And whether or not the Freemasons are worshiping God or the devil, this person wants to become a Freemason. If he goes there and says, hey, we actually worship the devil, not God. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't know that's what you guys did. I'm going to go. Okay, no problem. You know what I mean? That would be it. There's nothing to be done here. The only thing to be done is to put these shows on YouTube and to put these shows on TV so that people see it and think this is the reality that we live in. But it's bullshit. None of it's fucking real. Yes, there's Satanists out there, and yes, there's probably evil groups like what people think the Illuminati are, doing these bad things, and likewise, the Christians are doing bad things, and you know, there's ceremonial magicians doing bad things, and witches doing bad things, and there's regular atheists and scientists doing bad things. Everybody's doing bad things, because we all have that in us, you know. People are going into groups because they're trying to find something. They're trying to be part of something bigger than themselves. They don't know why they're here, and they're trying to find that. So they go to these different places. And to me, that's what these things are for. It's for everybody to try to find their way. You know, and then hopefully through these experiences, you know, okay, well, I did the Christian thing and, you know, it taught me some shit, but it wasn't really for me. And now I got to go be this, you know, and, you know, luckily I didn't have to go to that step. And I mean, I was in a Christian school, so I saw it firsthand. And, you know, I had some fanatic relatives. I still have one that I can remember, but all my grandmothers and grandfathers were, well, my one side was pretty avid churchgoers and shit like that. And, you know, my mom grew up having to go to church every Sunday and shit like that. So, you know, I didn't have to because my other relatives did it. And, you know, maybe that's why on some level, some people don't continue, because I kind of made the point earlier that, you know, the people that go to church every Sunday have a type of discipline to give up their Sunday to go to church. And whether that's out of fear or out of love for the Creator, and that's who they really believe they're going to do, then all the power to them. And maybe on a fundamental level, most people aren't doing that anymore because they don't believe it. And maybe it's just because TV puts in their heads that it's okay not to go to church. Who knows what the real reason is? But I can't tell you whether or not, the Christians or the Satanists or the Freemasons or the Illuminati or the Jews or the Islamic or the Buddhist or the Hindus or any of these religions are right or wrong. I just think you need to go within yourself and figure this shit out. And this is what I figured out. This is what makes sense to me. And it may not make sense to you, and that's okay. And I hope I don't get hated on for saying any of these things, because I know the Illuminati is something that we all hate, and the New World Order is something we all hate. And I didn't touch the New World Order, so don't get that twisted. I'm keeping Illuminati, Freemasons separate from New World Order. I think New World Order would be a politician thing, and Illuminati is probably connected to the elites now or whatever. So the Illuminati that I'm talking about right now would be the one that got dismantled way back when, and not necessarily the Illuminati of today. Now, that being said, I don't think there actually is an Illuminati now today. I think that's just something for people to fear so they don't get into any of this stuff. I think Illuminati is created because they tied Freemasonry to it, and it's a way to get people to stay away from Freemasons, because honestly, when I thought of Illuminati, I thought of Freemasons. I thought of that G with the thing, you know what I mean? I don't think of stonework. I don't think of masonry. I think of fucking Illuminati. Not anymore, thank God, but that's what I thought of. So I'm not saying the New World Order, and I don't want people to start thinking I'm okay with that, because I'm not. I'm just trying to prove maybe to myself that I am depolarized, even though I've been so polarized every weekend lately. And it's because, I'm going back to work and I see my family every day, all day. It wasn't a big deal losing a day on a weekend. I let my wife go for a week to fucking to LA. I let her have all these different girls' nights. I didn't care. She could sleep over and not come home for a few days. It didn't matter to me. Whereas now, if I don't see her for 4 to 8 hours, and on my Saturday I'm losing my shit. So maybe I'm just trying to prove to myself that I'm so depolarized that I can almost think the Illuminati were good, even though we're told they're bad. But I'm also coming to find out that everything we're told is bad, it really might be something good. And not necessarily that everything that's bad is good and everything that's good is bad. But if you were raised a certain way, then the opposite of what you think is right is going to be what's wrong. I could say that probably in a better way, and I think I said it already before, but I said, if you were someone who was a pushover and got taken advantage of, well, then you need to learn to grow some teeth and have some balls and, stand up for yourself. And if you're somebody who takes advantage of people, you need to learn to stop doing that and being of service to people. Well, I kind of mean the same thing in the sense of, if you're a devout Christian and you believed in God and all this, well, then maybe you need to start looking into Freemasonry and the Illuminati and witchcraft and ceremonial magic, because you already had the one mindset that most people have of God. Now you need a different mindset so you can evolve. And then if you were the opposite, if you grew up as an atheist or with witches and all that, and it never made sense to you, or that's not what you thought, well, then maybe you need an organized religion to find your spirituality, and maybe that's okay, is kind of what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that witchcraft, even though I believe in ceremonial witchcraft and I believe in magic and I believe that this is the only way to do it, then maybe, because, if you grew up with something and you didn't like it, then, it could be the best way to do something. But if you don't like it, you're not going to do it. You know what I mean? So all I'm trying to say is, maybe there is a use to all these different factions, and it's just only at the extremes where there's imbalance, where it's not needed, is all I'm trying to say, I guess. And anybody can be evil, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, or the Christians, or the Jews, if they're just crazy, I guess, or, extremely, psychopathic or sociopaths, or whatever the case is. I think anybody could be the Illuminati. I think the Illuminati could be a bunch of different groups. And I think the reason the celebrities and the presidents and the politicians and everybody else who throws up those symbols, they're doing it to either create press, there's no such thing as bad press, to make people talk so they're in the limelight and all this. I think they do it for that reason, or they're trying to wake everybody up because they know the game. They're on the top of the world right now. They're in the public eye. They got the millions of dollars. They're doing it, you know. To Trump, it's just a game. Whether he gets elected or not doesn't matter. So he's having fun with it. Let's fucking throw some dirty laundry out there and see if they throw me in jail and I won't serve a day anyways, and blah, 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 blah. It's a fucking game. They manifested their life. They've done it. He's on top of the world. My God, what has that guy not done? You know, all these celebrities, they're doing it. They're living the dream. The guys that don't last, the one-hit wonders, you very seldomly see them throw up those symbols. It's the people that last that throw up those symbols. And they figured out the trick. They're not just the one-hit wonders that go and fade. It's not just the athletes that have only been here for a couple years and lose their fame. It's the ones that get the fucking deals that are on the TV, that are in the movies, that throw up those symbols and shit like that. They figured it out. They know that magic's real, however way they do it. So they throw up these symbols to show you that I'm part of the group that knows magic's real. So whether you think I'm Illuminati, whether you think I'm magic, whether you think I'm a devil worshiper, you're right. Because all those roads are going to lead you to the first step of your initiation. Don't get stuck on it. Move past it and you'll be okay. And you can do like I did. And you'll be throwing up these symbols one day to get the rest of the world on the right path. And that's what I believe. And I'll leave it at that because this is probably a pretty polarizing episode, and I hope to God, I hope I didn't piss off anybody. And like I said, I don't believe or not believe in any of this shit. I believe in what I believe in, ceremonial witchcraft. And like I said, I really think that these groups are polarities and polarizing and trying to, but in our day right now, Illuminati and Freemasons and all that, I think Illuminati tied to Freemasons is trying to get people to not be a Freemason per se. But in the same sense, it's trying to get those who, you know, if you're against Christians, well, then you're going to look into the Freemasons and you might like Freemasons. But if you're for the Christians, well, then you're not going to look into that. You know what I mean? So they have all these different polarities set up so that, you know, whichever one you are for or against, there's something that is going to attract you or whatever. And, you know, that's what I guess maybe that's hopeful thinking, because in that sense, there's something there to get everybody to eventually awaken. But there's too many Christians out there trying to blame all these different groups. You know, the witches are bad, the magicians are bad, the Masons are bad, the Illuminatis are bad, the Satanists are bad, the Luciferians are bad, the Islams are bad. All these fuckers are bad, and they're the only good ones. Like, come on, man. Who cares? You're saved. You said it yourself. Just fucking go hang out with Jesus. That's your retirement plan. You got it. You're good. Because of me being the badass that I am, you're the good one. You know, I'm making you look good. It's like you're the good sheep. I'm the black sheep of the family. But if I wasn't the black sheep, you wouldn't look good, right? You can't have a black sheep of the family if there wasn't some kid that's being good, and vice versa. If that kid wasn't being such a little dickhead, getting in trouble all the time, that other kid wouldn't look so goddamn good. Well, it's the same thing. If God is up there saying, okay, he's kind of like Santa Claus, oh, naughty, you get none for Christmas, and oh, okay, you know, you're a good kid, you get heaven for Christmas. You know what I mean? Well, then it's compared to me that you're looking good right now. So what do you care what I do? You should be telling me keep being worse so I can get away with a little bit more, so I don't have to watch everything I fucking do. You guys should be thanking the fucking people that are doing a bad job, but instead you're going around trying to get them to stop. Well, that's just going to make it harder for you, because then the bar is going to be raised. Well, if everybody's doing good, well, God's going to want a little bit more from everybody. It's like your boss. If you go into work and okay, well, everybody's quota was this, and you go in there, you smoke that 3 weeks in a row, well, he's going to start expecting everybody else to pick it up, and everybody else is going to look at you like, what the fuck did you do that for? We're not doing it because we want to be slow. We're doing it because, you know, we don't want to work harder for the fucking money that we make. And you just come over here and work harder. Now we got to do more? Like, fuck, who the fuck you think you are? You know what I mean? What's the Christians are doing? Like, leave it alone. Leave everybody alone. God. And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to peg all Christians, because there's no way to know if it's all Christians. The people I could be seeing on YouTube doing this shit might not even be Christian. That's the funniest fucking part. They could be fake people fucking too, from a different place, making the Christians look bad. So who knows? All of it's a game. All of it's a stage. Implant what you want in your subconscious. Practice. Get it to work. Once you get it to work, figure out what you want. If you need to know how to do that, look at all my shit. I'm still working on this imbalance thing, so that's why it's not really a very informative episode, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways. But yeah, put what you want in your subconscious mind and then figure out how to make that what you want keep happening via a different manifestation. You know what I mean? Like if you want $25,000, you want that 4 times a year. Well, I guess you need a job that's going to make you $100,000 a year, right? If you're asking for 25 grand every year, and if you're asking for the 25 grand 4 times a year on top of the 30 grand you already make a year, well, then you need to cash for a job that asks for $130,000 a year. So you need to figure out what kind of job you can do that you would like, that you can have qualifications for, that you could potentially do, and what you need to cash for to make that happen is what I'm saying here. And I've got more than enough info on here. Not only that, but I point you to the right people on here to do that, and the curriculum, and I've given you the PDFs to do it on here. So do that. That's all you need to do. That's it. That's the trick. The trick is your mind is the most powerful fucking thing you got. Your mind can do anything. It can make fucking things look bad that are good. It can make good things look bad. It can make you mad for no reason, and it can give you a reason to be mad. It can make you happy. It can make you cry. It can do anything. Anything. You can make people die. Yeah, I said it. That's right. If you ask for money and you don't fucking ask that, it's free from harm, then there's a good chance that if you have an old relative, they're going to put you in your will and you might X them off. And if that's not how you want that money, well, then you might want to put that on there. Now, that being said, if you want a specific job, well, and you don't know any of your relatives that have that job or whatever, then you need it fast. Well, then, there might be an old guy that might need to kick the bucket for you to get that job. And I know that's not nice, but, it depends on how fast you want this shit to happen. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to cut it off there because, wow, what an episode. I said I would never make fucking polarizing conspiracy episodes. And, this kind of, it's not really a conspiracy episode because I'm trying to debunk the whole conspiracy, but I didn't really give you any facts. But if you read those books about Pike, you'll see that Pike's not the guy they say he is. And if they say Pike is part of the Illuminati, and if they say Pike is the Freemason, and they're saying Freemasons are evil, well, by these being Pike's books, and by him writing these books and saying that he believes in God, and that, that there are people trying to suppress his information because this is the information that'll help you get what you want, and I and multiple people have certainly proven that doing these things actually get you what you want. Therefore, it kind of proves that Pike is right. Then by definition, by these being his books and them being suppressed, and people saying he's Illuminati and people saying he's a Freemason, well, then if he believes in God, then he's not the satanic person that they say he is, and that he is a Freemason, but the Freemasons aren't evil. They actually believe in God, and that he obviously, if he's part of the Illuminati, well, that means the Illuminati believe in God and they're not evil. And it either means that or it means that he wasn't part of the Illuminati. So if the Illuminati is evil, then Pike wasn't part of it because he believes in God and he doesn't believe in hurting people. And because he says it many times that he references to Rome and how Rome had slaves and all that, and how that government was wrong, and how to not go about that government, and how if people don't stand up for what they believe in, start manifesting their life and doing these things, that they're going to have centuries of slavery upon slavery, and they're never going to get what they want because they're just going to end up waking up one day and the world that they know is going to be this slave world, blah, 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 blah. And, well, I'm not going to say any more than that. If you read the book, you're going to be blown away, though, is all I got to say. But he says shit like that, so he wasn't an evil man. So if you think the Illuminati is an evil group, well, Pike wasn't part of it. And if you still think Pike was part of the Illuminati, well, then it means the Illuminati wasn't an evil group. So then you kind of have to pick, and then you can kind of go, well, does it make sense that they would, if Pike was part of the Illuminati, then they demonize the Illuminati and demonize Freemasons, or he wasn't part of the Illuminati, so they made him part of it to demonize him and demonize the Masons. Both are probably right in some way, shape, or form, because there probably is a good Illuminati and a bad Illuminati. That's probably the big trick. There are the illuminated ones, the good illuminated and the bad illuminated. But they're both illuminated. But you need both. But anyways, so all I'm trying to say is, I hope I didn't offend anybody, but I'm just saying, if those books were written by him, then Albert Pike, General Pike, is not the man that we've been told he was via YouTube and all these other places. So anybody who told you that he was this evil man had their information wrong, or got it from the wrong source, or deliberately tried to tell you wrong information for whatever reason. And I got no reason to do that, because I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for the stats. I'm not in it for the popularity. I'm in it just to help you. So I'll read the books and make your mind up for yourself, and have a great fucking day, everybody.